first result of this result season got announced yesterday. We got the South Indian Bank numbers. No complaints with the NII growth, but the provisioning took everyone's breath away, resulting in a very meager profit. Mr. V.G. Mathew, Managing Director and CEO of South Indian Bank, has joined us on the phone line. Mr. Mathew, good morning. You know, this massive provisioning that you have taken of over 600 crores, is this, of over 400 crores, is this a one-off or do we see it getting repeated through the year?
No, this has a component of 252 crores, which is entirely one-off, and that has been very clearly mentioned by the statutory auditors also in the filing of the report. So we had sold 1,776 crores of stressed assets to an ARC in March 2017. We had announced that at that time, and this all resulting from our large corporate book stress. This we had announced very clear that we had a 1,200 odd crores of watch list last September, and we progressively, reduced that. So this was a large part of that transaction. So we had sold out this much, and all that is now finished with June 2017. There is no more watch list. There is no more stress in the large corporate book. It's all finished. But this particular portfolio, which we sold at a discount of 33%, we thought should hold without any problem at all. But today, after the valuation, they are coming out with a view that we have to take a provision at 25% from the security receipts that we are holding.
Fair.
Okay. So, Mr. Mathew, since you're saying that, all the stress of the corporate book is out, it's behind you, how can we expect the GNPA figure to trend? At the end of this quarter, it's at 3.57%. Subsequently, is there a target by the end of the fiscal? Can it come down to 3%, maybe lower?
Yeah, as it progresses, like when we have more recoveries coming in, more focused, effort of managing this current NPA level progresses, obviously it will keep on coming down. And we certainly don't have a pipeline of large corporate NPAs at all. And if you look at, what has happened, in March, June, and now, in March quarter, we had 1,148 crores of slippage. In June, we had 684 crores of slippage. In September, we have 252 crores of slippage.
Okay.
And even this 252 should be on the higher side. It has to come down. That is what we are looking at.
Okay, that takes away my next question actually. But let me first ask you about provisioning itself. What is your provision cover ratio? And will you have to take extra provisioning not because you are creating slippages, but because some of your guys may have walked into the NCLT and RBI rules require that 50% have to be immediately provided. So give us an idea of how PCR and provisioning will trend.
Yeah, I think I will first talk about that NCLT part of it. That is very important because the current 252 crore provisioning also, additional provisioning also, when we talk to the agencies concerned, we understand that it is their relatively conservative view on the recovery prospects of those accounts. In fact, we got about 4 accounts in the ARC portfolio, adding up to 760 crores. Out of the 1,776 crores, 760 crores is, into NCLT cases.
Okay.
Where RBI has suggested that you need to have at least 50% provision, that is on the secured portion, and if it is unsecured, it has to be 100% provided for. Therefore, I'm sure, there must have been a bias towards, the lower recovery. So that is what must have led to this, requirement of 25%, provision there.
Yeah.
So that has already hit us. Fine. I believe, that is already over for us. Now, what remains is about the second list of accounts which had gone into, and therefore some of those accounts are with us. Around 886 crores are there with us in our stressed assets portfolio.
Okay.
And therefore, they are already carrying 25 to 50%, depending on some of the cases. So we don't have any serious worry about it. But our provision, therefore, will be, we already announced that our provision will be a little elevated during this year, but certainly not this 252 crores. It has nothing to do with the elevated provision provision that we were talking about.
No, the 252 is one-off. Let me subtract that. If you subtract that, your run rate is 200 crore provision.
Exactly.
Is that the run rate for the remaining quarters?
That's the max for the remaining quarters. And with this, we are completely done with that bunched provisioning also.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
After that, we become completely normal. Yeah.
Okay. One final question on slippages. There are GST-related problems with SMEs and MSMEs, or maybe the old demon lingering problems as well. Is there anything in that book, in the non-corporate book, that can surprise us?
It's a non-corporate.
Non-large corporate, I mean.
Yeah, obviously. There, of course, we have, in the MSME lot, I don't think GST has been an issue.
Okay.
The problem that has come up, at least maybe I would say that, some of them are saying that the gold companies, one or two of smaller gold companies have suffered a little bit in terms of the demonetization. But anyway, these are all temporary things and they will be able to come back. And that should not be anything like, out of trend kind of NPA slippage coming in the traditional portfolio at all.
Okay. So to just get back to the question my colleague asked you, 3.57 GNPA will look like what by the end of the year, you think?
It depends on how much we are able to manage, because for example, now ARC sale we have to be very careful about. That is certainly not the best option in today's situation. So obviously then we have to, of course, look at other options of recovery. In the smaller accounts, significant recoveries will happen. Larger accounts which are going into the NCLT, I need to really wait and watch and see exactly how.
No, but your loan book is growing at 13%. No, so GNPA should fall logically if you are not generating.
That will definitely happen.
Yeah. So what should we work with 3.2 or something?
No, we will be now. It has, for example, compared to last year, it has come down by 39 basis points.
Okay.
So definitely, we are looking at another 25, 30, or even 40 basis points coming down going forward.
Sir, just one final question. You told us that I think 886 crores is the exposure to the second NCLT list, and I think the first list was around 700 crores. I missed the exact figure.
760.
760. So, if you could tell us what the progress is like, are there a lot of buyers? Are you getting the sense that, there won't be very deep, haircuts beyond the provisioning that has been taken? What's happening at the NCLT?
Yeah. Now, the 760 crores which I mentioned was in the ARC portfolio. So, obviously, I may not be able to comment too much on that because it is with an ARC. Now, the remaining part of it, 886 crores, which is in our book, 25% of that is an auto ancillary, 59% is infra and EPC, and 16% is steel. I do expect that the steel will definitely get resolved. The infra and EPC, we have got certain resolution mechanisms in progress already, and therefore that will also substantially, get improved.
Fair.
And the provision will certainly not go beyond the 50%.
Fair point. We've taken that on board. Thank you very much, Mr. Mathew, for joining us and clarifying all those doubts about the future course of provisioning and slippages. Well, with that.